Hello class, this is Mr. Van Persum and I will be explaining to you guys how to run Musescore, and this program you will use on your computers to help compose your final project and to also be able to do some homework in class that we'll be working on through the next couple of weeks. It's a free software that you can download on any computer, and it's called Musescore, and you want the third version. So here you can see it on my desktop right here. So I'm just going to show you some of the basics of this. I want you to make sure you watch this whole video through before coming to class tomorrow, so you can understand how to run Musescore completely. Because if we're going to use it a lot tomorrow in class, and if we have people that haven't watched this video, it's going to be very challenging for us to be able to do the homework and participate in class. So pay attention closely. So you want to open up Musescore 3. It's going to open up, and this is going to pop up. And so you want to hit create a new score, and then you can give your score a title. So maybe tomorrow you'll title it chord progressions, and then the subtitle, you can add a subtitle if you want. The composer would be you. So, and then you can add, if you're doing a choral arrangement, you can add a lyricist and a copyright, but we will not need that for tomorrow. Then just click next. And you get to choose your instruments. For right now, we will just be using you can choose treble or bass clef. I'll just choose treble clef right now. But later on for your composition, you'll probably want to add like a band or orchestra. You might want it to make it for piano, so then you need a grand staff. Or if you're making it for chamber music, maybe a brass quintet or woodwind quintet, that would be underneath there. So click on treble clef or whatever for the chord progressions. Then you hit next, and you get to add your key. So you can choose whatever key you want for your composition and also for the homework we'll be doing in class. I'm going to put it in the key of C major. That'll be the easiest to explain. Next, you also have to pick up your time signature. So I'm going to make mine in 4/4 time. And there is not going to be a pickup measure. If you want a pickup measure, you'll click this here, and then you'll have I can just show you how that works. So then you would want to see how much that duration will be of the pickup measure. So then you enter the amount of measures you want. You can change this later. So when you're doing your composition, just set it higher than you think because it's easier to take away measures. So I'll just put it for 20 right now. And then you can also put your tempo if you want the tempo marking. That's not necessary for the homework. For your composition, though, it will be necessary. So whatever the tempo you want, click here, and you can adjust the beats per minute there. After you're done, you click Finish. And here is your chord progression. Here's my composition. So this is super important that you do this next step. So you need to save this to your computer. So once it pops up here, you click Save As, and then it's like any Word document you've ever saved, although it's a Musescore file. This is kind of tricky, so then you push Save, and then it saves it to your computer. This is the tricky part. You have to, before you submit things, you have to export them to PDF, because other people cannot read Musescore files. So when you submit them or email them to me, you need to export them to PDF. Make sure we are doing that. Okay, so now we're going to go back here, and this is where you get to start adding notes, or you get to start adding your different clefs if you want to change clefs, or key signatures, time signatures, accidentals, articulations. So on this left side, here are your palettes. And this is what, like, you can see the different clefs if you click on here. The key signatures. To close it, you just click on it again. Time signatures, accidentals, articulations. So all of these are in here. You can also search. That's something that's new with Musescore 3. It's very nice if you want, hey, where's the forte? Even though that would be underneath the dynamics, you could just type in forte here. It would pop up. So now we get to the adding of notes. So I want to start with a 1 chord because that's the most common chord to start with, and I'm going to make it a whole note. It's just telling me that I'm making it into whole note. Like a lot. You just can click next through here. You should read these. I'm going to go through them. In fact, I can just close out of here. So now to add notes, this is the next important. You either click add up here and you click notes, or what you do is click the N button on, so the N key that stands for notes. And then you can change to whole notes. And I want to add a C major chord. Oh, here we go. So I didn't quite get it. So here's a trick. You can use, I put an F instead of a G. So go over using your arrows, go over and see how the F is highlighted. You can make it go up. There's an F sharp to a G. Or you can make it go down using your down arrow. So then it lines up perfectly. So next I want to add a 4 chord. So what is the 4 chord? It'd be F, A, C. There's my 4 chord. Next I want a 5 chord. G, B, D. And then I'm going to add another 1 chord to finish up. So I'm just going to add 4 measures here. The nice thing is, don't forget about using your arrows. If you want to select a different note, you can use the reverse arrow. This is just undoing your last changes, just like it would be on Word. Now, I'm still in the note input. And so if I try to add like dynamics or anything, I'm going to be adding more notes. And so to get out of that, you click N again, or you can click, if you're using the add format, you can just click add and then you can unclick the notes. I would suggest using the N button. It's much simpler and it's just one button. So N to add notes, and again to stop adding notes. So I'm still selected on that C, so just click off of it. So now it's time to add some dynamics. And so I want to add the first note being forte. So you take the forte and you drag it and you select the note you want it to be forte and it goes right underneath. And then I want the next note to be pianissimo. So you drag it and select it right underneath. Oh, why didn't that work? There we go. So you just have to make sure you hover right on it. Then you want it to be fortissimo, the next note. So you drag it underneath there. And then the last note I want back to forte. So that's how you add dynamics. That's changing dynamics per each one. You guys are not required to change dynamics every time, but you will be required to use some dynamics. Next I want to add a bar line because this is the end of my piece. So I want to add the ending bar line. So I'm going to add that like there, and then you can add that in. And I want to close that, but I want to add some articulations. So maybe I want this to diminuendo from here to the pianissimo. So it diminuendos. The nice thing with this is you can also change the size of your diminuendo by doing this here, or you can make it bigger or smaller. These notes aren't really quite spread out enough. If you're using quarter notes, you'll understand this more. Let me quick show a demonstration over here. Note input over here, quarter notes. So I'm just going to add some random notes. So now, if I want a crescendo or decrescendo, I click here. Make sure you're clicking your N to get out of the no input. And you can make that decrescendo smaller or bigger just by adding it like this. Does that make sense? So after you have added your articulations, so the lines are the decrescendo, the slurs, articulations, maybe I want to add a fermata to a note. To add a fermata, you do the same type of thing. You click on it, you drag it over, and then you, with your arrow, right on the note, and it adds the fermata. Or maybe I want to add a marcato accent. So you have to drag it, your arrow, on top like that. So that is how you add notes and dynamics and some articulations. You can also use grace notes, all of these little things. And every time you add one of these, it's just taking it and dragging it. So maybe I want to change to 2-4 here. So then I just click it here and it'll put it into 2-4 for you. So that is the basics of Musescore. There's much more to learn. Make sure we save our thing every time. So then you're going to go back to save and it's going to save it for you. I'm not going to save this one, but it'll ask you to save just like any Word document you've ever saved. And then the cool thing about Musescore is you can also listen to what you play. So select the first note, and if you click this play button up here, it will play exactly what you wrote. Kind of cool. And then you just stop play. So I would encourage you to do that because then you can hear the chord progressions that we'll be building, and then your compositions you'll definitely want to listen to multiple times because you'll be able to hear different mistakes and stuff that you're making. And so make sure at the end, your file, save, and then if you're submitting it to me, you export it to PDF. Thank you for watching this, and if you have questions, please ask me in class. I know this can be a lot of information, but I'm sure you guys are going to be up for the challenge. And I'm super excited about this project. This is one of my favorite parts to teach, and I'm really excited for tomorrow's class, be able to teach you some more about chords and chord structure, and to be able to help you along with Musescore as well. So bring your questions to class, and I hope you have a great rest of your night. Thanks.